is keen to expand its food reserves. All right, let's switch gears now and talk matters technology. Now, telco service provider Airtel launched their 5G capability network in Kenya, making it the second country in Africa for the telco company after they launched the same in Nigeria. I spoke to Anthony Shaina, the group commercial officer, and Ashish Malhotra, Airtel Kenya CEO, on their plans for the continent and whether the company is looking to list at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Here's that conversation.
It's great to be here and thanks for taking the time to chat. I think when we looked at, this is the second 5G launch for Airtel across Africa. And why? It's because Africa is starting to lift itself to its rightful place on the global stage. And what we're seeing now is demand is increasing. People want better services, they want faster services, and they want connectivity everywhere. So what we're seeing is this is the second launch. It's the largest 5G network in Kenya. And our aspiration for Kenya is not only just to increase 5G services, but to also expand the network. We've just announced via our chairman another 650 sites in Kenya. Kenya will become the digital hotspot of Africa. We plan to enable everyone. We changed our message. We're now a reason to imagine. We're giving people a reason to take action, a reason to innovate, and a reason to truly transform the country. They need a great network, they need strong support, they need infrastructure to do it, and that's what we're here to do. And we're here to make sure that people can afford to do that. So world-class networks, quality prices that are affordable to the average Kenyan.
Digitalization is a big conversation across Africa. So when you're looking at East Africa and particularly in Kenya, what else needs to be done in terms of infrastructure?
I think infrastructure will build as demand builds. What we have to do is educate people. I think education around digitisation is number one. Providing services and devices that people can access technology is number two. So I'm not necessarily sure it's just about building infrastructure, because we'll be there when the customer needs us to be there. What we need to do is make sure there's more phones in people's hands. We need to make sure that more people understand how to use it, and most importantly, the capabilities.
See, 5G is an expensive handset, yeah? So the reach in the market is still limited. On our network itself, about 100,000 devices exist today. And once we launch this service, we will definitely expect more and more customers start taking these devices. If you remember, this is the same story which happened on 4G. 4G was expensive, almost about $100 compared to a 3G phone, which was about $40, $50, and the penetration was low. As and when the network expanded, people came to know about the network, the technology, people started adopting it. So I'm sure in times to come, the technology will also get adopted at a very fast pace.
Let's talk about the numbers. In terms of your target as far as connections go, what is the number that you're working around, particularly when you look at the next 6 months going into the next year?
See, Jimmy, we are deploying a network. Okay, a network is there for the customer. More the customers come, more happy we will be, and we'll keep on expanding our network to accommodate as many customers as possible. Okay. So there is no specific number, more the better.
All right, let's talk about the costs. So how expensive has this transition been?
So it's not about a cost which is there, it's an investment that we make from a betterment of our industry, okay? And the investments are there, and it's not which is very huge, but it is required by the industry, and that's what we're investing at the moment.
All right, Ashish, whenever we speak about the issue of connectivity, of course, the pilot areas are going to be Nairobi, the big cities, Nairobi, Mombasa, the likes of Nakuru. So what is your strategy as far as that goes?
For the start, initial phase, we have gone ahead and launched in 180 wards. Yes, majority of the network is in Nairobi and Mombasa, but we are also going to other counties. We are right now, with the launch itself, we are in 16 counties, and it will keep on growing. Our strategy in days to come will be, how do we bring, wherever we don't have fiber, how do we bring in 5G network, which can replace a fiber connectivity for a customer and have home broadband services for the home there. So that's our strategy in the days to come. But I think so we have done a decent job in spreading the network in just not Nairobi and Mombasa County. We have 16 counties to start with, and we have the support of our group office. And as and when the network, as and when the customers adopt this service, we'll keep expanding more.
That you're going to be able to use to measure and say that this was a successful product?
See, right now, 5G penetration is still very low in the country, okay? I would say if we can take up the industry uptake to about 5 to 6%, Right now, it's about less than 1% of handsets which are 5G enabled. And as and when the technology gets popular, the customer prices also, the handset prices also start coming down. And we do expect, at least in the nearest short term, we should at least expect about 5% penetration of 5G handsets in the market in the short term, the near term. And eventually, Jimmy, this is going to happen as in when the device prices start coming down. We will be about 40-50%, like the way we have about 60% penetration of smartphones in this country.
Let's talk about listing. Are there any plans for Airtel to list at the Nairobi Securities Exchange?
See, as I said, it's a mandatory requirement from our side at the moment. But however, there has been some articles, some news announcements which have been there that 30% local shareholding will be waived. We're waiting for that announcement. If that comes through, great. Then we don't have to list. But at the time, if it does not happen, whatever the policy requires, we shall comply.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. All right, and thank you for keeping it here on KTN Business Today. Now, we want to switch